Hi, I'm Izzy.
I'm Georgia.
I'm Sienna.
I'm Ellie.
I'm Indy.
I'm Crystal.
I'm Taylor.
I'm Josie, and we're the Melbourne Tigers A-Team Ones, and you're listening to
Smash FM.
Yes, welcome everyone here to the Smash Sports Show right here on Smash FM. We're out here at Denver, Colorado, in the Mile High City, but let's return back home to the great city of Melbourne, of course, to interview, of course, they absolutely clean swept the whole competition, including the Nationals as well. They achieved 4 trophies in the 1 year, or 4 or 5. I've lost count how many they've won. But we've got 4 very special guests joining us right now to tell us a bit about it. Thanks, all you, for joining us.
Thanks, Will.
Thanks, Will.
No worries. Well, get each of you to introduce yourselves and tell us a bit about the amazing season.
Well, I'll start it off, Will, as the coach. Yes, quite amazing long season, as you said, with 4 gold, 49 straight wins, undefeated. Huge effort from the Friday night coming out of State Basketball Centre, then heading on a flight at 7 a.m. in the morning and getting over to Perth, and then getting everyone and regrouping again and trying to lock in and focus for the next big phase for the Nationals was huge. So from the start of the season, the Eltham Dandenong tournament, through to the Classic, through to the VJBL and the Nationals, just a huge effort by the girls themselves, the coaching staff, and the parents. It's one big team effort to get through such a long season like that here, especially with basketball, and Victoria is a really long season.
Maybe I'll jump in next as assistant coach. I was thrilled to be able to jump on board with the coaching staff at the end of the year, at the start of 2024. It was evident from the get-go, I think, that we had a very special and exciting group who were able to play team basketball right from our first practice match, which was really exciting and really promising. Grant, head coach, did a great job in dividing the season into 4 achievable goals for our group. And we just worked through each block, through each phase, towards the next milestone, towards the next medal. And I think splitting the year up that way into achievable targets, we could continue to build and continue to grow. While we were ticking off and working through those milestones, we still had the next target in sight all the way through the season. And that kept us fresh. It kept our eyes on the next prize, that we were never satisfied with our most recent performance, and we had to keep building. And every one of those targets, the 4 pillars of the year, the 4 targets of the year, were different. We were walking into the Australia Day, the tournament, the long weekend tournament. Then we had the Classic, where we were going to see some teams from interstate, the VC challenge and grand final, and working our way through that massive season with teams that we were familiar with and that would have seen us, and we'd seen them multiple times throughout the year. And then heading off to Perth as well for the crowning achievement, and seeing some new teams again that we'd not seen before. So again, having to regroup, having to a different challenge, being on the road, and all the while continuing to improve our group and our strengths, working on our weaknesses at the same time. The challenges were different at every milestone, and I think that kept the season ticking over. It kept us fresh, and we were never really satisfied until we got to that last trophy. So that was a really great way to break it up for the girls in what is a long year. It's very hard to achieve, especially seeing teams multiple times. So some really great challenges at every milestone, and the girls just rose to the occasion every time. They were phenomenal.
Well, I'm Georgia, obviously one of the players in the team. This season was pretty spectacular, if I have to say so. I've never had a team as close as this one, and I've never had a team where not only everyone's genuinely happy for each other's achievements, but then also pushing each other to strive for better, and you're not afraid to call someone out if they haven't picked up a man or haven't called out a screen or any of those kinds of stuff. So it was really good to just, start strong as a team and then end, really positively, obviously winning the nationals. But yeah, no, I thought it was a really great season altogether.
Yeah, I'm Crystal, one of the players. Getting to play with such a great group of girls who we all pushed each other to our best. Like we all worked so well together, and we made it through all 4 blocks undefeated because we work so well as a team and we're always there for each other.
I actually have to ask now. Obviously, you wouldn't know that you had to go to nationals until I think it was around about maybe March, April. I think this year, or actually, it would have been around about April, May, maybe even. How difficult was it to go? Okay, our aim was probably obviously to win the VC, but then all of a sudden, great, there's another component now, obviously now going to nationals and especially going over to Perth.
I was going to say, like, I think probably for us, I don't feel like it was more of a difficult kind of situation. I think it was just another chance for us to prove ourselves as a team and kind of prove that, not only for us, but to kind of everyone else that might doubt us, might doubt that we can, hold that standard for as long as we can, that we just prove on an even bigger stage that we are able to, kind of beat anyone that comes at us and, kind of work as a team. And I think that, really one of our most difficult games was in nationals, which was the game against the Bearcats. Pretty sure it was the Bearcats. And it was just another, I felt really good for us because we're able to, we hadn't been in a situation where we were down 12-0, I'm pretty sure it ended up being. So it was a good experience for us to be able to really work together and just kind of set the tone that even if we are losing, we don't just drop our heads and move on. It's that we keep going and then we work as a team and then we finally get the result that we want. So, yeah.
For the coaches in particular, was it difficult logistically to go, okay, now there's an extra component in regarding to, obviously you have to coach the team as well, but, trying to also logistically figure out how we're going to get there?
Yeah, look, it was on and off all in about a month there. It was on 1 minute, then it wasn't on. That we were getting all different stories. So basically, the parents and the group, they just head down and started getting organised to prepare for it. I just said to the girls, look, it's another block we add onto this that we concentrate on and what we need to do. It did concern me a little bit being such a long season to get there. But everybody's in the same boat. The fitness and the basketball IQ of this group is just through the roof. So I knew that we'd be fine. Their recovery, the way they look after their bodies and what they do is second to none. So we just locked in and said, right, it's happening now. This is block 4. Let's get through this one to VJBL and then we'll move on to that. The parents did a magnificent job behind the scenes, raising funds and everything to get us, which left us, Tracy and I, to concentrate on what we needed to with the girls and get to that part of the season. So it was really good.
Played Keilor that many times, and obviously you played them in the first week of the finals in VC, and then you played them in the first week of the finals at nationals as well. Was it a little bit of deja vu, considering you had to play Keilor, and especially playing, obviously for you, Grant, being your opposing coach in Megan, who obviously won Big V Coach of the Year maybe a week before that game?
Oh, look, there's nothing better than beating my frenemy in a game. Good old Keilor. There's nothing better. It's just the way it is. It fell that way. And look, credit to the girls too at Keilor. They always give us a bit of a hard time. You get that team that can be a little bit challenging sometimes. So it was really good hit-outs against Keilor. But yeah, it's always good to beat them and move forward. So yeah.
Now, was there any point? Now, I think, Grant, you mentioned before, and I'm going to ask all of you this question as well. Now, you played the VC final against Nuttawading, which you won at the State Basketball Centre. Then, obviously, you had to get on the plane and get to Perth the next day to prepare for Nationals, which obviously came a couple of days later. Did you get any time at all to sort of enjoy the VC Championship? or even the nationals? Because I think after nationals, obviously the day later you came back to Melbourne.
Well, I'd say probably the VC one, not as much. Like I felt like we were kind of riding that high of winning it into our kind of first game. I think for me, like all of us coming off the plane, well, most of us, majority of us getting off the plane and going to Grilled that night was just kind of us kind of rehashing all the stuff that had gone on and us kind of rewatching it on KO and like looking at the funny moments which we experienced and just kind of, reminiscing about it and all those kinds of stuff. But yeah, I didn't feel like we really just kind of celebrated more by playing, if that makes sense. But so like we played our VC, we went and we played our first game. It was just kind of like us wanting to keep going higher and just kind of better ourselves as much as possible. And then after nationals, it was more like between us girls at least, just kind of sharing those funny moments that we had over the whole tournament, because I felt that we probably got even closer than we already were over that tournament. So, it was really important, I think, for us to kind of keep our connection with one another. So, yeah.
Look, I think we tried to celebrate as much as we could after the win with the photos and everything we did in the foyer. It probably would have been good to fly out on the Monday and then maybe get together as a group on the Sunday to appreciate what's just happened. So I suppose that was a little bit tough. But look, there was a lot of photos, a lot of TikTok videos, I think, done in the hallway after the game. So it was pretty good in that way. Yeah, it would have been nice to celebrate a little bit longer, but yeah, as I said, a 7 a.m. flight in the morning and then straight to Perth. So it was straight back into it and focus. And as I said to the girls, we've got unfinished business, and we went on that and took that to Perth.
Crystal?
Will, can I just add to that?
Sorry,
I think our group really enjoyed the challenge of conquering VC and then saying what's next. Every time, because as I said, we had those 4 pillars, those 4 blocks that we were working through, and we had such a competitive and connected group who really enjoyed each other's company. It was just, okay, we get the classic roll up the sleeves. What's next? Let's get after VC. What do we need to do? Roll up the sleeves. What's next? They were just so hungry for that next challenge. And, I think it actually helped us in a lot of ways that after VC, the next challenge was quite different, being an interstate national tournament, getting on a plane. So that's a whole different kettle of fish. And we'd mentally prepared. The coach had said to the group so many times, we're working through this block, next block straight away, we're getting on a plane early. So there's a lot of mental preparation, I think, through training, but also having such a special group who love a challenge, who rise to every occasion, who are really connected. And, as Georgia said, genuinely happy for each other to be achieving along the way, celebrating each other. I think they were just rubbing their hands together going, what's next? Bring it on.
So I know you have another team that has to travel a bit further than you do, but I know that you've been involved in a couple of championship teams. Is this one the better team that you played with and a bit more cohesive than your other teams that you played alongside?
Yeah, this team's been special because how connected. It's probably one of the most connected teams I've played in because we all just get around each other and push each other to get better. It's been good to play with all these girls, because we've been it's been good getting around everyone. It's probably one of the more special teams I've played in recent times.
I have to ask as well, obviously, Taylor as well, who also comes from Sale, and I know you've got a couple of other country girls as well on the team. But Crystal, just tell us how much commitment is it to come from Caringbah, I think, to get to the city and play and train and then obviously return home?
Yeah, it's a bit of commitment, but at the end you get used to it because travel after, you get in the car after school, get home late, then obviously you have to prepare for school the next day and then you just kind of start over again. But playing with these girls and it just made it all worth it.
Trace and Izzy, I need to ask you this. Obviously, being a family affair on this team, what does it mean to, share this moment, winning the nationals together?
She and I have spoken about it. She and I have spoken about it a number of times, and it's just it's very, very special and such a privilege to be able to be alongside her, to be able to watch her growth as this group, connect with her teammates, which is something she treasures the most about basketball. But we're pretty careful, we're pretty cautious. Sometimes she'll lay into me as mum, but most of the time we're pretty good at the coach parent separation and the relationship thing. So we're fairly careful about it at times. But Grant obviously very accommodating and gave us a lot of latitude. And it's an absolute privilege to be able to watch a child as an athlete perform, play, enjoy every minute of their sport, and love this team and enjoy achieving great things with this group.
Okay, so this is going to sound a really silly question considering you've won the Eltham tournament, the Classics, VC, and Nationals. Now, normally I ask which one's more special than the others, which I'm assuming that would be the Nationals. But tell us this, any similarities at all between the four?
Look, I think, well, in the Classic mid-year was pretty tough, and there were some pretty interesting teams, especially that come in from New South Wales. It's up there with the Nationals. I reckon those two are pretty, and then it's hard because then the VJBL is what you put in and what you do all year, all the hard work the girls put together and put in. So for me personally, it's probably a three-way run for me, a dead heat between the Classic, the VJBL, and the Nationals, and then probably the Eltham Dandenong just behind that, I suppose. It's a tough call. It's like trying to, who's your favourite daughter of my two daughters? It's pretty tough.
They're all very different challenges, aren't they? Some locally Victorian, and you're seeing the same teams as we've said multiple times, whereas the Classic and Nationals, you're seeing teams for the first time who've been watching you, who we felt like we had a bit of a target on our back given some of the success we'd achieved. And it was, I think they were all very different, unique blocks of work and targets for our group to achieve. It's hard to find similarities, I guess, in a lot of ways.
And well, that's the good thing about this group and keeping them focused on what we're doing and locked into our system. We were filmed many a times by teams that we weren't even playing, and there was footage going everywhere. So, we knew that. We had to change up a few things all the time and mix it up a little bit. But credit to the girls. They just wanted that challenge in the Classic and the VJBL and the Nationals. They didn't really care as long as they locked into what we were doing. We focused on our own system, and it came through. So, yeah, it was great.
Yeah, no, I couldn't agree more. I feel very similar to Grant and Trace. Like, I think probably in the hindsight of the whole thing, like the Eltham Dandenong tournament wasn't, like it was amazing we won it, but like it wasn't as, I don't know, like I don't know if it's the right word is important, but I felt that probably the Classic and VC and then Nationals, they're very different competitions, but they all had their importance in different ways. Like I couldn't agree more with the VC championship being because it was our whole season, and that considering we've been training together for probably around a year and a bit, that it's everything we worked for, and that was the one thing we had it to lose. Like we had won every single game. We were the ones to beat, and we wanted to keep that title, and obviously we did that, so that was great. And then for Nationals, it was just we put in all the effort. We'd won the Classic, we won Eltham, we won VC, and then we're going up and going to all this effort to get somewhere. I think that probably added a bit of pressure for a lot of the team that our parents are obviously spending a lot of money to get us there, and it's a huge thing to get you to, anywhere, but especially somewhere where it's 4 hours away or however many hours away. So I think that was in its own importance. And then obviously because it's a national competition. And then the Classic was just that we had those teams that we knew we wanted to beat, and we ended up doing it. So that was, yeah, I think that was probably why they were the more important ones in the scheme, but they all were very important in their own little way.
Yeah, I think going into nationals, it was like probably the most special because we went in with like the biggest target on our backs, being undefeated, and we played a few of the teams in previous tournaments. So it was good to get back there and beat them. And the other three were all pretty special as well, getting to play against like more local teams, getting to show them that we can keep our winning streaks going.
Crystal and Georgia, I need to ask you this. What have both of you learnt from each other on and off the court this past season?
From Crystal, I feel that like we're able to kind of lean on each other. I think it's a really big part of, our game is kind of get like, at least for me, is getting up and getting really vocal and, being that support. Because I know for a fact, like I've had those games where, you're struggling, you get really in your head and, you just got to kind of make light of it and move on. So that's why I think for both of us, I kind of learnt that it's not about the play that's going on at the moment. It's about keeping and pushing forward and not really focusing on what's just happened. It's about the next play, what you're doing in the present time. You can't control something that you've done 10 seconds ago, 20 seconds ago, a quarter ago, a half ago, or even at the end of the game. So it's all about just kind of moving on and just kind of supporting each other to help you move on. So, yeah.
Yeah, I agree. Like keep on pushing each other on and off court, like at trainings and during games, and just getting around each other, like off the bench, or if you're both in the court, just cheering for each other and getting around all the other girls as well.
Being 49-0, which is an amazing achievement, which no one will ever, I don't think anyone's going to break that. But I need to ask, especially from the coaches and from the players' point of view, which of these three teams was more sweated than the others? Was it North Bears? Was it the West Adelaide team? Or was it another team or another Victorian team?
You could have shortened that sentence, Will, because it was the North Bears straight up. It was really exciting and a terrific challenge for our group. We were very, very keen to test ourselves against the North Bears and the Adelaide Bearcats too, for that matter. They're a strong team. Victoria has some incredible teams as well, but seeing those interstate teams that have some dominant, highly skilled players, we were really hungry and excited to test ourselves, our system, our team game against what we knew they had. So, I think we really set ourselves for those games, and we were keen to see how we could match up and how our system stood up, and it did again and again. It was very exciting and very, very, very satisfying.
Yeah, same for me, Will. I think because there's a lot of hype and lead up to it as well through basketball industries, and everyone talking about are you going to be able to handle some of the Australian girls and the Australian coach, and as we just said to the girls, like I said before, we focus on what we're doing and lock in and switch on our process, and follow our structure. And to the girls, like Tracy said, they were so hungry and so excited to get out there and play and proved it in the game. The talent in the group and what they just did on the day, on that night, was fantastic. So that was probably the best one for me.
Yeah, I'd say pretty much the same thing. Like, I think especially for that game, we went in with a plan. We knew who we were going to try and stop. We knew like who we needed help off. We knew the kind of plays that we were trying to pick towards them specifically. And, again, similar to what Graham was saying, there's a lot of hype built around it. Like I felt our semi-final felt as if it was the grand final. So for us, it was really important to, stick to our plan, execute it, and not get sucked into all the hype around who's going to beat who, our favourites this, our favourites that, like that kind of thing. It was just sticking to who we are as a team and making sure that, someone's falling down, you're running straight up and you're grabbing them and you're helping them up. And if not, then if someone's doing something well, you're cheering them on. It's all about, that atmosphere. And I felt in that game, it was absolutely unmatched. And I felt we couldn't have been stopped. So yeah, that was my favourite game, to be honest.
Yeah, same with me. Playing the North Bears is always my favourite game. It's always the build up before the game and getting to like knowing that you're playing the best team from like their state, New South Wales, and getting to compete against some of the other best players around Australia, which is pretty cool.
I'm going to finish with these last two. Obviously, you had amazing sponsors, which we've been promoting your sponsors for the last month and a bit since we did the recording with the team, which was actually quite funny, actually. So I need to ask, how important were your sponsors in getting you over to nationals?
I'd probably say massive, because I don't reckon we would have got there without them. So yeah, no, it was huge. Definitely a huge part of us getting there. Like I think obviously we say all the videos, we say all of our messages, all those kinds of things, but we all truly know that we wouldn't have got there without our sponsors and without having support from, as many people as possible, and especially with a team as as great, but also as like genuinely great human beings. Like it's great to have people that will back you up in any situation and really help you kind of make your dreams come true in the nicest way possible. But like, yeah, that's kind of the vibe.
And look, every cent counts, Will, as you know, whether it's a minor or a major sponsor, to get us there and everything. And credit to you at Smash FM, mate. You've been around for a while helping us way back in the under 14 days with Ray Tomlinson when I was with him. So we really appreciate what you do for the sport and industry, and really thank you for your support, mate. It really helps, and little things like that is huge to not just us, but the whole community in sport. And we see what you do and what you're involved with. So it's fantastic. And we thank you for your support, mate.
But enough, I think Grant's just answered my next question I was going to ask. But I'm actually going to get the players to answer this in particular. How special is to have Smash FM as your sponsor, or one of them?
It's been really special to have you guys as a sponsor, like following us around and promoting us and helping us get to Perth where we wanted to go, because without you, we wouldn't be able to get there.
Yeah, pretty much the same thing. Like we couldn't have done it without your support, Will. And like I know throughout our kind of interviews, we've kind of gotten to know you and we've seen you a lot more. Like I had personally hadn't met you before, but I've obviously heard of Smash FM before because of how much commitment and, involvement you've had in Tigers before. So it's been really, really important to have, someone that can, help people kind of engage with us as kind of people, because obviously, some people just watched us for the game and some people don't really know us as individuals. So it was good to, get so much support from someone that, might not necessarily know us, but has kind of gotten to know our team as a whole and hopefully enjoyed kind of our team and how special it is.
The season's over and everything's all over in this amazing 49-0 season. Have you had a chance to get together and actually celebrate the season properly? Because I know, as I said, I think right at the start that after you won nationals, I think he's all got on the plane and head back to Melbourne straight after. Have you had a chance to celebrate the team, or will you end up doing that? And I guess do you now miss each other, considering, especially being a incredible team, which, as I said, I don't think it's ever going to be matched again.
I think at this stage, I've had chats with Rowena, team manager. We're going to try and get the crew together before Christmas if we can. It is going to be difficult. Trace is up at Canberra with the UC Caps, up with them at the moment. We've got India over at Geelong, and yeah, there's just everyone's gone sort of. So if we can organise a catch up before Christmas, it'd be great for everybody to get together. We'll go and have a meal and celebrate the season, and then probably something special like this, if we could do it maybe once a year as a catch up like they do in the AFL Grand Finals or something, and get the crew together and just reminisce and for an outstanding season. Yeah, so that we're hoping to just before Christmas we can get the crew together for a meal, which would be great.
We do miss each other. We do miss, I'm sure Crystal doesn't miss the driving, but, the banter at training and just not seeing all their beautiful faces and having our laughs and
losing my
getting
money
up
in half-court shots.
Half-court shots. Yeah, Grant giving up the cash and drawing names out of a hat for shooters. But we had so much fun, and that was a big priority for Grant all the way through. That the girls were always laughing and enjoying themselves and having fun. So I think it's that connection as well that was very special. The off court, which was kind of still on court fun that the girls had. I miss that, and I think the girls miss that. I'm sure they still chat regularly through the socials, but I miss the on court stuff as well. Just trying to find little marginal ways that we could improve different things that we had on the go, or just the discussions Grant and I had about our offenses or our opposition this week, or different things that we were trying to tighten up offensively or defensively, those sorts of things. It was a pretty special group, and we could do a lot of we could run a lot of really fun offense. We could try different things. Training was always super competitive because of the matchups the girls had against each other. So it was a lot of fun. It was very special. And I'm really excited to hear there'll be a reunion. I'll get there for sure. Don't you worry about that.
I probably shouldn't say this, but something funny. I actually got my training bag ready on a Tuesday night, and there was no training. And my wife just looked at me and went, "Yeah, there's no training tonight. I miss it already." A bit embarrassing.
Yeah, no, I think it was like I'm definitely gonna miss the girls. Like I obviously keep in touch with pretty much all of them, I'd say. Like we're all still pretty talking on the socials and seeing each other, but obviously I haven't seen Grant and Trace for a while, and obviously saying hi to Grant whenever I see him. Still got his guitar, so there you go. And then obviously Trace is like like it was pretty much a superstition, I reckon, by the end of the season that I'd sit next to her every single starting of each game. Like I was always the one that was sitting next to her, and then she'd do a double high five thing all the way down. It was just the way it was, and obviously I'm going to be playing this year for Tigers again, so it will be pretty strange to be sitting on the bench and not sitting next to Trace, and getting some calls randomly read out by Grant, and then seeing each other running down the court. It'll be very, very strange, I think. So yeah.
Yeah, I think I missed probably the trainings the most. Just getting to see all the girls like on weeknights and being around the coaches, and just especially the half court shots. But everything was good at the trainings. You're probably going to miss out the most.
I'm $300 down, Crystal.
Only 20 for me.
Yeah, you're right.
It all went to Izzy.
Izzy Whiteman took all my cash.
Yeah, she took all of it.
She's a shocker.
Superstar from half court.
Takes all my money too, don't worry.
Well, all for you. Thank you so much for getting up some of your time, joining us. Congratulations on an amazing national championship. It was so fun to watch your games from back in Melbourne when I was in the country, and got to watch you on TV. And congratulations, well deserved. And I'm so proud to be part of the under-18 girls team this year. In some ways, being a sponsor and obviously doing these interviews, and can't wait to see where this team can go, especially where all the players and obviously both your amazing coaches as well go in the future, and hopefully there's more championships coming all for your way and the rest of the team somewhere down the track. And obviously I'm sure I'll get to see Tracy be involved in the UC Cats when they come down to Melbourne sometime in the WNBL season.
Sure, make sure you say good day. I'll come find you otherwise.
All right. but thanks so much for joining us.
Thanks, Will.
Thank you.
Thanks, Phil. Forward.
See you, girls. See you soon.
No.
See ya.
Hi, I'm Izzy. I'm Georgia. I'm Sienna. I'm Ellie. I'm Indy. I'm Crystal. I'm Taylor. I'm Josie, and we're the Melbourne Tigers A-Team Ones, and you're listening to Smash FM.